Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to my first impressions of Ethiopia and the new Ethiopia pack for Civ 6. Let's get started. We'll go ahead and just play the video.
Menelik II leads Ethiopia in Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Best remembered for fighting off European powers, modernizing the nation, and ending slavery, Menelik established Ethiopia as a bastion against colonialism.
Very cool. I actually don't really know much about Menelik, but it's interesting. I think a lot of people were expecting Haile Selassie. I can't remember how to say that guy's name, but he was like usually the Ethiopian leader in Civ games. So it's very interesting that we're getting a different leader. Perhaps in the future there might be an alternative leader for Ethiopia in the works. You never know.
Ethiopia's unique ability is called Oxuomite Legacy. Its cities earn extra faith from resources, boosted even further when international trade routes originate from resource-rich cities.
That's a very powerful ability just from the straight for the first glance. And the reason for that's really powerful is because you're getting faith essentially from things you will already be doing. That means your faith game is going to be relatively strong, and you'll be able to get early religion. You'll be able to faith purchase a lot more stuff throughout your game, and generally just do a lot more stuff with faith because you have more faith. And it also seems to encourage you to internationally trade, which has a bit of a feel of a tourism-y kind of bonus to me. So we'll see how that shakes out with the rest of the bonuses.
The Empire can also purchase archaeological museums and archaeologists with faith.
Okay, that's actually really powerful. Because normally in order to do the archaeological museum purchasing, you have to actually take a belief, but they can just do that naturally. And the thing about archaeologists is, and archaeological museums, is they're already a little bit more powerful than the regular sort of art museum building. So that's really, really damn interesting that they're able to do that, because the hardest part of actually getting your archaeological sites and your archaeological digs going is actually the production cost. It takes a long time to actually hard build these things or purchase them if you have gold. And being able to instantaneously convert your better faith game into getting more tourism is another sort of point pushing me in the direction that this is a really strong culture civ. Being able to unlock archaeological museums and then instantly, generate the archaeological museums, giving you the great people points and all the other benefits that you get from them, but also just getting your archaeologists on the same turn means you'll have not only more archaeological great works, because you'll get to them first, you'll have them earlier, meaning you're generating more tourism. So this is going to be a very, very powerful tourism civ based on those two bonuses alone.
Ethiopia's unique unit is the Oromo Cavalry. This cavalry unit replaces the Courser. It has better combat strength and sight than the Courser, and receives no movement penalty from moving on hills.
Cavalry replacement units tend to be a little bit better because cavalry is a very powerful class of unit, especially heavy cavalry and light cavalry, because they just have such high movement. There are some unique kind of units in the cavalry trees that aren't so great, but a replacement for the Courser, that opens up a lot of interesting strategies. Like you could go for an early horseman push into Coursers if you so choose, or even just a quick Corsair push to grab a couple of cities and stuff like that. Probably going to be a unit, because you're going to be playing very tourism and maybe faith reliant, probably going to be a unit more used for era score than actually used offensively, but there are sort of windows of opportunity there for you to get some really good value out of them. Especially their unique bonuses. I mean, they're not amazing, but they are, they're pretty good. It's pretty interesting to have a unit that's good at fighting in hills, because cavalry tends to struggle in hills, so having a unit that kind of bucks that trend could be quite a bit of a surprise, especially in multiplayer.
Ethiopia's tile improvement, the rock-hewn church, can only be built on hills or volcanic soil, and multiple churches can't be built adjacent to each other. It provides faith and extra faith from adjacent mountains and hills. They can only be pillaged and not destroyed by natural disasters. Once you research flight, rock-hewn churches also produce tourism.
That thing seems insanely powerful, sort of reinforcing the tourism and faith play. Not only are you getting more faith You are getting more faith from hills and mountains, which is very powerful. And especially since you can use your faith to generate more tourism, and these things, once you research flight, will actually turn that faith into tourism. This seems ridiculously powerful. Now, the one downside is that they can only be built on hills and they can't be built adjacent to each other. So they are going to be competing for things like mines, which means your production game is going to be a little bit weaker as Ethiopia, because you are going to want these things all over your empire, everywhere you can build them. Because one of the hardest things in Civ is to actually turn your production into tourism, and the ability to turn builder charges into tourism is really, really powerful. That's why city-states that give you like colossal heads or improvements that give you tourism are really, really powerful, because it gives you access to sources of tourism that no other civilization can get, which means you'll be generating more tourism than anyone else in the game and earlier.
Menelik's ability is called Council of Ministers. He gets extra culture and science based on his faith output in cities founded on hills.
Oh, that is actually insane. It looked like it was 15% of each. That's ridiculous. So not only is this going to mean that you almost certain you want to go for faith as this civ, like 100%, but it means any faith that you generate actually really helps you in other areas of the game, and that can actually make up for a relatively weak start and stuff like that. And it's also going to completely change how you play, because you are going to be looking for hills to settle on. In fact, I would go as far as to say if you're not settling your cities on hills as Ethiopia, you are making a mistake. It needs to be settled on a hill. That is insanely powerful, and it's really going to change how you settle this civ. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out from like a gameplay perspective.
His units also get extra combat strength when fighting on hills. Ethiopia's focus is on a defensive, religious, and culture-centered game. Claim hill tiles early for your cities. The Council of Ministers ability can keep Ethiopia well-rounded, even as you try to maximize the amount of faith you are producing. If you don't win a religious victory, you can still use faith to purchase archaeologists, naturalists, or even rock bands later in the game, keeping a culture victory within reach. Will you resist the powers that come at you from afar? How will you lead Ethiopia in Sid Meier's Civilization VI?
Holy crap. Well, this civ looks insane, but not insane, like insanely powerful. They look insanely fun to play. They do look very, very powerful, I will say that. In particular, if I just scroll back here to where all their abilities were listed, they seem really, really, really damn powerful, but they also seem like really interesting to play, because they completely change how you play the game. Your relationship with things like resources, your relationship with things like international trade routes, and, the culture and faith is very different to other civs. So this is going to be a civ that will offer a very unique and fun playstyle that's centered around religion and culture, which I really, really like. Those are like my favorite way to play is a religion into culture. So this is like the civ that was built for me, and I love everything about this. Being able to generate science and culture from your faith generation if you found a city on hills, being very defensive and turtley with your extra combat strength on hills, and having an insane ability to generate a ridiculous amount of faith and also translate that faith into other things is really, really interesting to me. So I would say, like, if we were doing like a tier list, I would definitely put them like a B at a minimum, and I would have to play them a bit, but they could very easily be like an A tier civ. I don't know if they would fit into S tier, but definitely an A to B tier civ, and that's really damn good. The potential for this civ to just completely change how you play and interact with the game is probably the most exciting part for me. So I'm like, I cannot wait to play these guys. And I think the DLC is coming out on July the 23rd. So by the time you see this video, it should be just about a week away. Which I'm super excited for this. I can't wait to do a live stream trying out the new game modes. And speaking of the new stuff, we are going to go ahead and quickly check out the other video that they have released.
We going?
Audio is going.
Can you hear me?
Speak.
Can you see me?
And video's going.
The cat in the background just causing issues. Kevin. Oh, Kevin.
Welcome to the developer update for the Ethiopia Pack, the second DLC of the Civilization VI New Frontier Pass.
We're here to introduce you to some of the pack's new game content.
But first, for those of you who've purchased the New Frontier Pass, this update will also include our new leader personas for Teddy Roosevelt and Catherine de' Medici.
Teddy is an interesting historical figure, Because on the one hand, he had an interesting definition of diplomacy, given his big stick philosophy. But on the other hand, he's also a staunch conservationist.
Rough Rider Teddy shows him in all of his hard-charging New Frontier glory, and it's only this version of Teddy that unlocks the unique Rough Rider unit. His ability, the Roosevelt Corollary, still...
Interesting. So it looks like they've not completely reworked America, but they've definitely reworked America's leaders, because this version of Teddy is the one that gets the Rough Rider. I think some people might be a little bit annoyed that, like, the original version of it is getting something taken away from them. But as long as something more interesting is given back to the original version of Teddy, that will be fine. The really interesting thing here is, to me, is the getting envoys to city-states that you have a trade route with to count as 2. That seems really, really powerful. It's going to encourage you to trade internationally, and also kind of pushes this version of Teddy into a very unique position where they kind of have bonuses for going for domination and for tourism and for diplomacy. So that's going to be a very interesting sort of shake-up to the sort of America metagame. Although, personally, I'm a little bit more excited to see what the other Teddy has to offer, because I think this version of Teddy has the extra appeal from national parks removed. I swear to God, I think that's something they have. I don't know why. I sometimes I forget off the top of my head what all the leaders do. But I think this is going to be like the domination slash sort of diplomacy-focused Teddy, and then the other one is going to be the tourism-focused Teddy, which is going to be very interesting to have that bit of a dichotomy within a single civilization.
Gives units additional combat strength on their home continent, but now also counts envoys sent to city-states that you have a trade route with as 2 envoys. Bull Moose Teddy uses Teddy's existing art and focuses on his passion for nature and high-appeal tiles.
Okay, so that they did confirm that the Bull Moose Teddy, which is going to be the original version, will be more of a tourism-focused one. So hopefully they give him some new bonuses that will make up for the sort of changes to America.
Meanwhile, our alternate Queen of Brands persona focuses on collecting as many copies of luxury resources as possible, and allows her to initiate the Court Festival project in any city with a theater square.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that seems really, really powerful. Getting extra culture from your luxury resources adjacent to theater squares and chateaus is going to give France an even more powerful culture game, and they already have a pretty strong culture game just by virtue of the fact that they go for a lot of, wonders and stuff like that, and they have, like, just strong in that regard. So I'm very interested to see how this shakes up for them. I'm wondering, what does the Court Festival actually do?
Which awards culture and tourism based on the number of excess copies of the luxury resources that France possesses.
Oh wow, getting extra culture and tourism. So this is actually going to be a completely different kind of Civ when it comes to a tourism game. You probably want to get your theater squares up extremely early and then work those court festival projects as soon as possible to generate insane amounts of tourism. Really, really excited to actually play with these guys as well. Again, culture is one of my favorite ways to win, so I'm excited to see how Catherine's abilities play out.
Now, the big themes of DLC 2 are faith, diplomacy, and intrigue.
The centerpiece of the pack is, of course, our new civilization, Ethiopia. Its unique ability grants extra faith from international trade routes and gives you new things to do with that faith to help you claim a culture victory.
We'll be dropping Ethiopia's first look later this month, so stay tuned for all the details on that civilization and their leader.
This pack introduces a new district, the Diplomatic Order.
We already talked about Ethiopia, but let's just kind of skip over that and go to the Diplomatic Quarter.
This is your hub for foreign policy and international relations.
One thing that's interesting about this is I only see 2 buildings in it, so I don't think there's going to be a tier 3 building in the Diplomatic Quarter. It looks like there's only going to be the district itself and then 2 buildings.
The Diplomatic Quarter grants additional culture for each delegation or embassy from a foreign civ.
I don't know if she's right there, but it looks like it actually says that you get diplomatic favor for each delegation or embassy from a foreign civilization. That's going to be really, really powerful. Being able to, generate diplomatic favor, that's going to put a lot more diplomatic favor in the game, because it can be quite tough to actually get diplo favor. So the fact that they're sort of inflating the amount of diplo favor in the game is going to make things very interesting. I'm wondering if they might give you more things to do with diplo favor. But certainly being able to just get more of it and actually using diplomacy is really, really nice. You can also see here you get +1 envoy if it's built next to a city center. That seems pretty damn good. And enemy spies operate at 2 levels below normal, targeting this district and adjacent districts. That's going to be actually really damn powerful because this is going to be probably metagame to build your spaceport next to the diplomatic quarter. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to have the lowest success chance possible for enemies trying to break your spaceport. And also actually throw your culture districts, sorry, not your culture, your commercial hubs down next to this one as well. And that'll prevent people from stealing your gold. It probably won't perfectly prevent it, but it will make it much harder. So this is a very interesting district already. So let's see how it shakes up as well.
It also reduces the level of enemy spies targeting that district and adjacent districts. It's so powerful, you can only have one in your civilization at a time.
The consulate provides additional influence points every turn and reduces the level of enemy spies when they target that city or cities with encampment.
So something really, really important here that I want to point out is this extra gold, faith, and science seems interesting. I don't know if that's like the base yield of the building, but the really, really important thing I want to point out here is that you can actually purchase this district's buildings with gold. And that's not something that you can do at the government plaza. As far as I can tell, I don't think you can actually purchase these buildings with gold. So it seems like the diplomatic quarter is going to be much easier to build and to fit into your empire's build. So that's something that I really, really appreciate. If these are the baseline yields, this seems really, really powerful. Although these kind of look like the yields you get from city-states, so I'm not sure how that's going to shake up. It might be that all of the city-state yields get put into this building instead, which could be, interesting because the metagame, that could actually completely change the metagame if they're removing the city-states applying to all your cities and only applying to your diplomatic quarter, because it's going to completely change the metagame with regards to how you interact with city-states. But even so, because what that will actually do is if they do change that, now I don't know if it's true, it might be that this just also generates those yields. But if it did only apply to this building, that's going to completely change the relationship between wide and tall, because typically city-states are better the more cities you have, right? Because if you're getting +2 science per library, if you have 10 cities, you get 20 science. If you have 4, you get 8. So if all of the city-state yields are just concentrated now into this district, that is going to significantly nerf wide play. Significantly nerf wide play and not affect tall play at all, with the exception of having to build another district.
Target that city or cities with encampments.
Meanwhile, the Chancery will grant additional science each time your civilization captures or kills an enemy spy.
Okay, looks like you also get influence points from these buildings, which is pretty interesting. The thing I'm wondering why it gives you faith there. It's a bit odd, but I'm not going to question it too hard. I don't think the extra science from capturing or killing spies is a big deal. It's just a nice little cool thing. Every now and again, you might pop off a bit of science because the AI is spying on you. But the other thing is too, if you put districts that the AI will really want to, interact with beside this thing, it also gives you spy defense. So there's an interesting interaction there. This is a way to maybe get a little bit of extra science. I don't think that's going to be super impactful. I think it's just going to be like a small thing. It's like, you captured my spy and therefore I get science.
To prevent envoys from becoming too powerful, envoy bonuses are now directly tied to these 2 buildings as well.
Finally, for players with gathering.
That, to me, what he just said there, envoy bonuses are tied to those buildings, that tells me either you need to have these buildings in order to get those bonuses, or if you have these buildings, you will get the bonus. I don't know. So what I mean by that is, if you don't have these buildings, you won't get the bonus. And that means, so if we have the original bonus where it's +2 science to each library, if you have this bonus, you'll get the +2 science for each library in your empire on that building. Or is it a case of this is the only place you'll get those bonuses, and have the bonuses been changed? I don't know yet. We'll have to see how this change shakes up. But I do think this is a really interesting direction to take the game. And again, it addresses that tall versus wide thing a little bit.
Storm Horizon Fall, the Ethiopia Pact also introduces secret societies.
Consider your options carefully because there's no takebacks and there's no do-overs. There's no do-overs. Once your membership is confirmed, you're a member for life. For the rest of the game. You'll be fine.
Secret societies offer benefits to those they invite to join their ranks, and with your initiation comes a special governor with 4 unique promotions.
That is really interesting. this is actually probably like, if these secret societies are interesting enough, this is going to be like a game mode that I just always play with, because it's going to open up so many options, give you so many interesting abilities if they do it right. It looks like, I can't really tell much. I wonder if they will reveal more here in a second.
These governors operate in worldwide networks and thus have no need to be assigned to a specific city. Promotion effects offered by secret society governors apply to your whole civ.
Wow, that's actually super powerful, because typically governor titles only apply to a single city, whereas having bonuses that apply across your empire that you can use, I don't know if you can put governor titles into these guys, but if you can, that like really changes the sort of value proposition of using governor titles. If you have to use governor titles on these guys, that means you're going to want to unlock them as soon as possible, because again, they apply to your entire empire, which means they scale really well.
But who are these societies that you are signing up for?
The Owls of Minerva are puppeteers who mastermind plots behind the scenes and use espionage to achieve their goals.
So here is the Owls of Minerva. They have initiation, which is unlocked by sending an envoy to a city-state. I think that's how you unlock the secret society before you actually, like, you know, pick one. I think there's 4 and you can pick one, and you get +1 economic policy slot. Holy crap, that is insane. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I cannot express how insane it is to get a free economic policy slot. It really opens up some different strategies with regards to your government. And also you get, for each trade route sent to a city-state, you get 1 envoy. That's really damn powerful. That's going to make international trading and trading with city-states even better. You're going to end up with more diplomatic favor from trading with city-states. It's going to make your diplomatic quarter even better. Damn, that looks really, really powerful. Considering international trade routes were already really, really powerful, being able to generate an insane amount of envoys with city-states is a really damn good bonus. And this kind of pushes me in a diplomacy victory support kind of right now, that these guys seem good for a diplomacy victory. Now, Ritual allows you to construct the Gilded Vault. I don't know anything about the Gilded Vault, so we'll have to take a look at that in a second. We also have Indoctrination, which is unlocked in the Industrial Era. It gives you +1 wildcard policy slot. Holy crap, they give you a wildcard policy slot as well. That is ridiculous. That's kind of insane. So yeah, wow, an extra one. That's insane. Getting an economic card and a wildcard card, that opens up some really interesting plays, like going for early monarchy, which has like only 1 economic and 1 wildcard slot. And this thing will actually make up for the fact that you have a lack of economic policy slots. Now, one thing that I want to note is typically bonuses that give you economic policy slots and wildcard policy slots, what they do is they don't make, like, having 5 economic policy slots isn't that much better than having 4, but having 2 economic policy slots when you can normally only have 1 is huge. So this is really going to make, it's just going to smooth out some of those governments where they have a lack of those card slots. They also give you +2 spy capacity, which is also insane, especially since spies are already really, really powerful. To use them internationally to steal gold and all that sort of stuff, you can generate a ridiculous amount of gold with spies. And your cities gain 4 loyalty per turn and +1 amenity when your spy is in their territory. This kind of lets you use spies as a way to generate loyalty and amenities. And also, if you combine that with the diplomatic quarter and the upgrade building, the chancery, I think it was, I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the 2 buildings, gives you science when you capture a spy. So this is going to allow them. Wow, this is really interesting. This interacts really well with some of the systems that are already in the game. So I'm excited to see what their final promotion is. I don't know if they reveal it here, but
Oh god. Oh god. Joining their ranks gives access to the Gilded Vault. This new building has all the benefits of the bank, but also provides your commercial hub's gold adjacency bonus as culture and grants an additional trade route for cities with a harbor.
wow. Okay, so the Gilded Vault is kind of blowing my mind right now. The extra trade route is huge. So back in the launch of the game, it used to be able to that you would get a trade route from having a harbor and a commercial hub, and then they changed it to where you could only get it from 1. So the Gilded Vault kind of brings back that ability by allowing you to use many trade routes. And don't forget that this civ also benefits from trade routes by getting envoys with city-states. So this is definitely pushing me in the direction of like a diplomatic civ, sort of a diplomatic victory kind of a secret society. But, you know, it could just as easily, the extra trade routes could just as easily support a tourism victory. The extra culture is really damn nice, especially for a diplomatic victory, because culture is one of the really, really important yields for a diplomatic victory, because some of the really late game cards and stuff like that are really important for a diplo victory. Yeah, the Gilded Vault seems pretty damn good. Seems pretty damn good because commercial hub adjacency is actually really easy to come by, and the bank isn't really that good of a building to begin with, so getting a better bank that also gives you culture could mean that you could neglect theater squares in a few different types of games. These guys could also be pretty good at supporting a science victory. Very interesting. I'm excited to see. This could actually be a really good one for a defensive science victory because you could use your spies to defend your spaceports and you could use it to steal tech boosts if you fall behind and all that sort of stuff. Very, very powerful and very, very interesting. The Gilded Vault and this secret society as a whole.
The Hermetic Order values alchemy and occult science above all else. Their success comes from theories and inventions that other societies dismiss as mere fairy tales.
Okay, so it does look like you need to use governor titles to actually unlock these guys, and they give you initiation, which is unlocked by discovering a natural wonder. They reveal ley line resources on the map. Ley lines give a standard adjacency bonus to all specialty districts. That seems pretty damn good. I would say that having a wildcard tile that can provide adjacency to all your districts could open up a lot of strategies across a variety of difficulty or a variety of win conditions, but especially science, because campuses can be somewhat hard to get adjacency on, and having +1 adjacency just makes your life a little bit easier to get to that all-important +3 adjacency, which allows you to boost the science output of the buildings in the campus by 50%. And they also have Ritual, which is unlocked in the medieval era, allows you to construct the Alchemical Society, a powerful replacement of the university. I'm sure they'll reveal that in a second, so we'll take a look at it. We also have Indoctrination. For every great person earned, ley lines receive +1 yield equal to that great person's district type. Great admirals and great generals earn +1 science. So that seems really, really damn good. Having a tile that's not only a wildcard adjacency tile, but essentially comes with a specialist slot that gets better the more grey people you earn is really, really interesting. So that seems pretty crazy, actually.
Such as ley lines, a new map resource only they can see, which gives standard adjacency bonuses to all specialty districts, and can even grant bonus yields whenever a great person is earned. Members of the society can build the Alchemical Society, a university replacement building that has all of the base university effects. But it also provides extra great merchant points, great engineer points, increased production, and gold, perhaps.
Wow. The Alchemical Society seems really damn good. Also, you can see here it's getting 14 science per turn. Now, that could be suggesting that the extra science and stuff from city-states is still applying, but it could also be that this was boosted through other means, either by a great person who used their ability to improve the university, which would be interesting because the city is over 10 population and it does have a 3 adjacency on its district, so that would mean this is being doubled. I'm trying to think. I think there is a great person. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Yeah, I think I'm 99% sure Isaac Newton gives you +2 science on your universities. So this could be the baseline 5 science you get from a university with the +2 from Isaac Newton, then getting doubled by the rationalism card from the 10 pop and 3 adjacency here. So this would suggest that maybe, just maybe, the city-state bonuses to these things have been removed. The only thing I'm confused about is this library providing +7 science. I'm wondering where that's coming from. Because if this building is getting doubled, then the library should be getting doubled too, which means it's generating 3.5 science. But it can't generate 3.5 science. It generates 2, and then +1 from, I think it's Hypatia, that gives you +1 to all your libraries. Yeah, so I'm a little bit unsure. We'll obviously just have to wait and see what they reveal.
Perhaps from some lead lying around somewhere.
The Void Singers follow a dark religion of ancient gods and sow chaos to control adversaries.
Holy crap. Just looking at this this ability here, Ritual, we'll talk about that in a second. I just read that, and Void Singers, they seem pretty damn good. Like, it's insane. You're unlocked by discovering a tribal village, fairly straightforward. They give you the Old God Obelisk. I don't know what that is. They give you Ritual. Unlocked in the medieval era, cities earn gold, science, and culture per turn equal to the 20% of their faith per turn rate. In combination with Ethiopia, the Void Singers are going to be ridiculous. Holy crap, they're going to be ridiculous. You're going to be generating 35% of your faith as science and culture, and 20% of your faith as gold. Like, that's ridiculous. That's insane. As Ethiopia, the Void Singers are insane. Like, really, 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 really insane. They also get Indoctrination, which is unlocked in the Industrial Era. Unlocks the Cultist unit. Units purchased with faith and uses charges to reduce loyalty in foreign cities and generate relics of the void. I assume these are going to be like relics that also generate faith and tourism. So again, this is also going to work really well with Ethiopia, giving you another way to generate faith, another way to generate, because you get faith from the relics, and another way to generate tourism. So that seems really damn good. You also get Master Plan. And the thing that I really like about this is they're addressing an issue where it's kind of hard to generate relics. So I like that these are giving you relics. Like you can get relics from another source now. You also have Master Plan, which is unlocked in the Atomic Era, unlocks Dark Summoning, a city project that provides a lot of faith while active, and upon completion raises the amount of loyalty damage done by cultists. So I'm not really sure how the loyalty damage works, but getting a lot of faith means that you get a lot of science, culture, and gold, which means you can purchase more of these cultist units, which can then be used to generate more relics, which is more tourism. So definitely a very interesting society. I think this is going to be my favorite one so far.
Joining them unlocks the Old God Obelisk, which replaces the monument, has all of the monument's base effects, and provides additional faith and great work slots. The Void
Oh, that is, these are definitely my favorite. Being able to getting this bonus so early, that amount of faith, like +4 faith in the really, really early game, is super powerful. You're going to be able to do a lot of stuff really early into the game with faith, especially if you're playing a Civ that has bonuses to faith, like, again, Ethiopia. That's ridiculous. The power of the Old God Obelisk is insane, especially because it has a great work slot that says it holds any type. That's going to open up so many options for extra tourism. Truly insane. I'm loving this secret society so far.
Also have a unique unit, the Cultist. Purchased with faith, cultists can spend a charge to recruit followers in enemy cities, reducing the target city's loyalty by calling its citizens to madness.
The Sanguine Pact.
Interesting. So they are going to be able to use loyalty to flip adjacent enemy cities, as well as generate relics. So that's another way to use your faith in the mid-game to generate relics. I like that, because I feel like getting relics from apostles is a little bit unreliable. So I enjoy that they haven't, added another way to get relics. That's really cool. I don't think the loyalty is going to matter, except maybe if you're playing Eleanor, the specific version of Eleanor that flips cities instantly when you do them. In fact, these guys are going to be insane with Eleanor, actually. Holy crap, I didn't think about that until just now. These guys are going to be ridiculous with Eleanor, actually. Jesus Christ. That's so cool. I love how they're changing the game. This is really, really interesting.
The Sanguine Pact is a militaristic regime known for sapping enemies of their will to fight, shunning the sunlight, and absorbing nutrients through the blood of their... And these are vampires. Yeah, they're definitely vampires. Joining the Pact unlocks the unique Vampire unit, which gains combat strength when adjacent units perish. Instead of dying, vampires retreat...
So vampires gain combat strength when an adjacent unit dies. Now, depending on how much combat strength they get, they could be, like, ludicrously overpowered. You just run them around a couple of barb camps relatively early into the game, and you suddenly have, like, a giant death robot, vampire just running around murdering everyone in existence. So these seem like the kind of domination-y focused guys. They seem like they are going to be very nice for civs who, again, want to go for domination. And the fact that these units can't actually die is superbly interesting as well.
Retreat to safety with 1 HP, and can be healed back to full with some good pillaging. Vampire castles can be placed in any empty tile in your territory or in neutral territory, grant defensive bonuses and extra yields, and in later eras allow you to teleport units between them.
So this is like forts that act like portals. Holy crap. I love the vampire civ already. Did they reveal like the vampire promotions? No. So they don't reveal much about them other than you can build a fort and the vampire unit is like super powerful. That's really exciting. I'm excited to try out the vampire pact, but I think that's pretty much it from this video. Let's go ahead and see what else they have to say.
The faith of Ethiopia, the diplomacy of a new quarter, and the intrigue of 4 new secret societies with very different goals.
Civ fans, you are the best fans in gaming.
To keep up with all the latest Civ news, be sure to follow our social channels.
Next month, we'll be talking about the free content coming your way in the next game update.
Thank you for joining us, and remember, when you enter the vaulted halls of the elite, make your choices carefully. There's always one more turn.
Give me a high five if you love Civ. Oh, that's a double high five.
Cute. I really like that they have, this slice of life kind of developer update videos where you see a little bit into people's lives, like Kevin's cats being annoying and the dog being really cute and stuff like that. That was really cool. Holy crap, am I excited for this this update. I think I already have the Frontier Pass, so like this is just like more stuff for me that I get to play around with. I'm superbly hyped for this. Everything in this is like amazing and exciting. It's going to change the game, probably not like massively in terms of like the actual gameplay, but it's going to change the game massively in terms of the meta game, like what is good, what is strong, what is weak, what is new strategies are opening up. The city state looks like the city states have been like completely reworked. We'll have to like really get a read on that. I'm not sure how that's going to work in the sort of coming updates, but damn, am I excited to try out these new things. Holy crap. Everything from like the new civilization. Ethiopia looks ridiculous, especially in combination with the new secret societies. The new secret societies look insane. I'm super excited for those. I think this is a way more interesting update than Apocalypse even was, even though Apocalypse did a lot of really important things for the game and fixes to the game. And like made the game more interesting by really cranking that sort of disaster intensity up to 11. But this is this really looks to be the kind of update that really appeals to me as a gamer. I love the ideas of having, sort of these like little bit of alt history fantasy elements woven into the game's narrative. And you can obviously, you can just turn those off if you don't like them, which is really cool too. I love that they have kind of structured this entire pack as like a little like toggles you can flick on and off. It's like, oh, do I like Apocalypse? Turn on that toggle. Oh, do I like Secret Societies? Turn on that toggle. And no matter what combination of them you pick, since you get to pick them, you're obviously going to be playing with the ones that you like, and the interactions are going to be really, really fun. I'm really excited to try a game when this whole thing is released, of like all of the game modes turned on, and just have this ridiculous game with like a million things to manage. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. I love you all very much. Super excited for the Frontier Pass, which is coming out on July 23rd. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.